Podcast. Pretty, can you hear me now? Any sound? That's my stupidity. Any sound? Can you hear me, Agyako?
Let me log in and see like this.
All
Yeah,
right.
it is.
We got everything tied in. We got to get everything tied in.
Yeah, let me
All
see.
right. He said, Pretty, say their sound. They're in
Okay,
the
okay.
Isle of
Shalom.
Jamaica. It's down there, man.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. With all of that, man. You all of that jerky down there. Let me see. Is that sound now? It should be sound. No loose cable or anything like that. Is there sound coming through now? How pretty? I don't see anything loose. We're going to have to get things right here. I don't see anything that's loose. You hearing me? You hearing me now? I may have touched that button that mutes everything. So how is the sound? How is all right? We're going to talk a little bit tonight. I sent out that newsletter so that to invite all to join us just for a moment tonight to see how the service, the broadcast. I will be coming on doing many live broadcasts, call ins where we can ask questions. You have your gut two of your verse ready so that we can hear that. Well, I see Imrafea. She says we can be heard. Let me do one thing tonight because our people, we are in a fox in the sense that we cannot concur with anything.
You keep touching the mute button on that mic.
Yeah, that's what happened. I said, pretty, that's what had happened. This is a new mic for me. This mic, never really used it but a few times. And so it's going to take a bit of getting used to, and I'll get used to that sometime soon. But I want to broadcast, I want to come in sessions like this, just talk and that we can open up Torah unto the nation of Israel. When Yah talks about the Reshith, he always lays the principle of all things from the beginning, from the Bereshit, the origin, the inception. And we see all kinds of dates for the feast days and everything. There is no continuity, there is no regards, there's certainly no reception of others when we see that this is out of line with their concept. I want to define the words Chodesh. There are those that say from the dark moon. That's not what Scripture says. I will define that word. I will utilize the strong concordance. And men that are ignorant, they will say, how do you know that is right? When a man spends years of scholarship discovering language and time, and the knowledge of the language that one is studying, and searching every avenue, nut and cranny to find out what is precise and the precision of every element of words and what they imply that we can understand. I want to look at this word Chodesh, Khodesh. This is how it is defined. It is the new moon month. It implies monthly. Not only that, it implies the first day of the month, the very first. Strong says the new month by implication. The new month in vines. It tells us that this now occurs some 283 times. Quite significant. The word refers. This is what the word refers to. It refers to that day on which the crescent, that the slither, the crescent reappears. There are those say the dark side and every kind of side there is, but it is only one sign. He always gives his people a sign. And so you will find this, the dates are so far apart. And I will begin to use charts to show you. Began to incorporate them into the broadcast and all of that. We have the ability to do that now. And we can do those kinds of things. But let me say this. There are teachings I've done in the past to inform us. What we call the internet, some form of passing on information. We must understand that the government in 1960 had this form of sharing information. And then this methodology of engineering science, of computer engineering, was only in 1965 when it began to emerge. And when it began to emerge, I worked at IBM. These gigantuous rooms of every kind of chip and everything there was, they were vast, they were huge. Until we have a small little box today. And I recall, nation, when we were able to begin to connect to all forms of what we call the internet. It's in 1983. Because I was one of the few that had internet connection back then. Not everyone had that. And that's when they allowed us to begin to connect in the homes and everything. Only then. I remember in probably 1985, 86, 87, simply doing a research on the name Yahweh. In the various form Yahuwah. And there were only 13,000 on the internet. 13,000 documents. 13,000. Whether they were identified as the Hebrew Israelites, there were only 13,000. When it came to Jesus, the Lord and grace, they were in the millions, probably around 100 plus million. You could find that God. But anything that was identified as Hebrewism or all that, very few documents. Because I remember stating you can read all of that. And so sometime back I looked again, there were nearly Yahweh, Yahushua, Yeshua. There were nearly 900 million documents, points of views. You can never read that in your lifetime and mine. And when I looked at lords and gods and Christo and all of that, there were nearly 3 billion. Is that confusion? Certainly it is. Full of confusion. Full of it. And this is a generation that is ignorant. I say to us, and I will the next broadcast, because the next time I do these sessions, I don't know, we'll call it the light of truth, the revelation of his light. And we will come in and share with you diagrams and all kinds of things to show you. I was looking at this article. This man is Nehemiah Gordon, proof of the 13th month. It is a lie from the gutters of hell. There are 12 months. There are 12 hours in a day, 12 hours of Yam, and 12 hours of the night season, 24 hours. I often say to us, from 1 year, 2021 to 2022, Pesach, Passover, you will keep it either as the years proceed, 353 days from 2020 Pesach to 2021, or either 353 days, 2021 Pesach, 355 days, and what they identify as the 13th month, they know it's a Lubavitch lie. Those that call themselves Hebrew Israelites, where's the scholarship of your scholars? You know it's a flat out lie. I want you to just capture some of this, what Mr. Gordon wrote. Many people write and say, is there a 13th month in the Bible? So they are not going to keep it. Yet in their hypocrisy, if they keep the holidays according to the Hebrew calendar, then they are keeping a 13th month. Listen, approximately every third calendar year. So that's why you will have a year that for one feast of Pesach, I use that because it's the first one. The next, it will be 353 days or 354 days. And then it's sometimes at 2 years or three, then it will be the third year, it will be 383 days. And then next third year, it will be 384 days, 385. Show me in any of that cycle. I don't care when you add all those numbers up and divide it by Hanuk numbers 364. It is no balance in all of that. And I never hear anyone talking about it because y'all gave us a simple way. He gave us a lunar calendar. That's what the word Chodesh is. That's when our new moon festivals began there. And this is what it implies. It says this, that this time the crescent, when it reappears, this is the significance of that one word. It implies it is the day when the crescent of the moon reappears. That's what it means. That's what the word month implies. Yet we, and many in my ignorance, I did the same thing until I realized I said something is wrong here. And I began to challenge my own ignorance and what I was doing. And you must challenge that as well. And how they come up with this 13th month thus. It begins on the Equinox when the days are. There's parative there in that land we call Israel. That's not the truth. I say to you, act pretty, there is a site that is free. It is called Dates and Times. Times and Dates. The only time in that piece of land whereby the days and the night is 12 hours each, it's only in June the 11th. I researched things to every detail. June the 11th. There's a vast difference in March or April when they integrate this vernal equinox. The word did not even come into display in the English language until the 1800s. And all of this was surmised by the British for time, for commerce. And yet we don't even ask questions because our leaders are gullible as I was. And they do not have the strength to confess that. Every third year, there's a 383 year days, or a 384 year days, or a 385 year days. And every year in those 2 years, you're going to either keep it 353 days, 354 days, or 355. There will be a year that it would be 354, the next year 355, and the next year of that one it would be 384 days in that year or that time. So you will say that you're wrong, me, and yet there is a count of 353 days, 354 days, or 355 days. And you will notice every third year in this process that the lies are overwhelming. We did not see barley in the land what we call Yisrael. There is no kind of barley grown in that slither of land. Go to their agriculture bureau. I've gone there many times to see the amounts of barley. And this is how they captivate many with lies. We did not see barley. So there is a second Abib. These are lies. It is false and it is corrupt. Listen to what this man says, Mr. Gordon. He says here, according to the Hebrew calendars, they are keeping a 13th month approximately every third calendar year. Yet the state categorically that they are not going to keep. Are you going to follow man's rules or Yah's commandments? The choice is yours. Remember though, you must pay the price for your wrong. This is my commentary on that. Mr. Gordon lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, in that area. Root, Report, and all of these men, they are a part of these lies, that what they promote and what they project. Fact of the matter. It's amazing. It says here, this question, and there's a verse that because I read articles like this, and then I go by Torah, I inserted this in Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things. That is to Sarah, to test what they say. Hold fast to that which is taught. How do we prove the 13th month was in fact part of the normal understanding of those who kept the Torah before Yahshua was born? That is not as easy to prove as it is to state, but it is very profitable. Probably. This is how they respond. Many will go to the course of David, set up to run the Bayat, to prove if there is a 13th month. There is no 13th month. It's not mentioned in Torah. You can go back from the Reshit, from the Bereshit, and we can see how the months are ordained. 12 months in a year. Period. And I simply wanted to come on tonight just to test things and to see. Because I have just here, I have so much information I've studied over, I think it was 300 plus pages just on this. Just on this. These are my words here. 13th month, the light of the Torah broadcast. Torah truth revealed. Where is the proof, demonstration of the clues of the time known in Torah that's an intercalary, a day inserted into the calendar? The word is not even in the book. And whereby the calendar is harmonized with the solar year. The word solar, show me anyone, please. It's no one here with us, but show me anywhere where the word solar is found. I can do a quick research now, and I can state fully that the word solar, I will show you what solar is SOLAR. This is what the word solar implies. It means this: Yom, Yam, day. Because it is a solar day, because the sun rules that. But you will not find the word solar with any indication in any form when it comes the modem, a solar day, a solar month is not so, nation. It cannot be found, period. And we have been taken by these corrupt lies. I'm going to deal with all of this before you began to celebrate your feast days. It's a lie, and your leaders will not explain that to you. They will not. They will not tell you at all. The Torah talks about the itinerary of the luminaries in Hanuk, and even they utilize Hanuk 72:20. The day is aligned with the night, and so it becomes equal. There is no day in that land that becomes equal until June. Anything close to the proximity of 12:12, excuse me, no other day. It's not in March, it's not in April. That's the only time it becomes somewhat equal. First day of spring, all these things, the equinox, so pagan, pertains to all of witchery and everything. Everything. Spring, the fall, the autumn equinox. It is not found in Torah, there is no implication, and it cannot be found. Period. And these are the types of things I am going to discuss. I am going to be broadcasting everywhere here in Teshua Hebraic community. Look on things. I need to get me another camera. And I will put out a cry for you all to send the gifts to help me do that. A decent one. I'm not looking for anything expensive. And to get everything organized here so I can begin to teach. I will be teaching outside. My laptop and everything is prepped to do all that in the dining hall. Different places here in the community, different subjects. I have everything ready on this myself. I can do it all. I'm quite ignorant when it comes to the technology and all of that, but I'm learning. I have a precious Ach Yaakov from the islands. We met 20 some years ago. And he has proven himself to be a friend and an Ach indeed. He has been here 2 weeks or better. He'll be leaving. On tomorrow, I will be taking him back to the airport. But he has been a faithful commandant all these years. And he's relentless in his effort to make sure that we get things up and charged. And that's what I want to do. I simply wanted to come on for a few minutes to see. I sent out the newsletter. And for those, I see no one but my friend Akpidi. He's there in the islands. Baruch, my friend, may God strengthen you, your home, and everything that surrounds you, my friend. May Baruch. I have a daughter there in where she's in the where is the Chok Marian? She's there in the islands. I can't think of which one. He's very faithful, just sent an offering. What I know people, not everyone, there are wealthy people in every island of the sea. For she is a simple daughter, but she is kind and faithful in her giving. She may not like what I say at times, but she will respond to this and that. But I hold fast as to what I say because I use Torah, I use Kitve scripture, and I will not capitulate for anyone, for money, for no one. I will stand this course, period, and I will not relent at all. And that's just the fact of the matter. Nothing shall deter me, nothing shall cause me to come unto the delusions as many. Those that believe in many wives, it's a lie. You must always search the sheath of everything. The first principle. He made man a wife, an issue. Moshe suffered things because of your own corruption. You can put away your wife. And I will not capitulate to anyone. I simply wanted to come on tonight, act pretty, and see how things will go. I do appreciate you joining us, Ima Raphael. I do appreciate that. 738 here, 0738. And I'm going to end this. I say to you, my Ima, my friend, Akriti, I say to you all, Ya Baruch. And I say Shabbat Shalom, Ya Baruch.